There's a specific category of purchase where you're not buying an object, you're buying a person you've decided you're going to become. The rowing machine is the classic, shows up in a box the size of a coffin. For about 11 days, you are a rower. You have a routine, you have opinions about stroke rate. You say the word erg out loud to another human being on purpose. Then day 12 happens and the machine completes its transformation into its true and final form, which is a coat rack. I bring this up because at Gamescom this week, a studio opened pre-orders on a $349 version of exactly that. And I should be honest up front, I have already bought it twice in my head. The game is called Stage Tour. It launches December 10th, PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch 2, and it's a Guitar Hero game. It is legally not allowed to say that, but it is. I say that with confidence because it's been made by RedOctane, the actual RedOctane. Made the first one in 2005, got bought by Activision, got dissolved by Activision in 2010. They were formed last August under Embracer. The Huang brothers who started all of it are on the advisory board, and the team's got former Neversoft and former Harmonix people in it. Both sides of the plastic instrument war, one building. Here's what's actually in it. 90 plus songs at launch, 6 decades, 4 instrument roles, and they renamed them, which I have feelings about. Lead, groove, drums, vocals. Groove is bass. They called bass groove. Somebody in a meeting fought for that and won, and I really need to know who. 4 difficulties plus expert plus on drums, which needs 2 kick pedals. 4 modes, Quickplay, Judgements, which is accuracy scoring out of 1,000,000, Karaoke, which strips the original vocal and won't judge your pitch, only your timing, kindest design decision I've seen this year. And Tour, that's the one that got me. 5-fret gameplay with roguelite structure, effects pedal loadouts, a currency called stars, upgrades in a shop, and you climb from small stages to arenas. Somebody put a deck builder inside Guitar Hero. I don't know if it works, but I want to find out. There's 180 plus real licensed guitars in there, 50 plus bandmates. Offline play confirmed, closed beta in September. And the set list so far, they've been drip feeding 3 songs a week since summer, and the reveal blocks are themed, which nobody seems to have noticed. Reveal 7 was called The Stars Have Aligned. The Rolling Stones, Muse, and Smash Mouth. They put All-Star in the game, and they put it in a themed block with the Rolling Stones, and they made everyone sit through a week of buildup for it. I beg your pardon. The rest of what's public, Slipknot, Psychosocial, Ghost, Square Hammer, Danny California, Just Like Heaven by The Cure, Radiohead's Just, Weezer's Island in the Sun, Paramore, Rise Against, Mastodon, Avril Lavigne, plus Baby Metal and Electric Callboy on 1 track. The trailer ran on Motley Crue's Kickstart My Heart, and the press release name drops Metallica, Blink-182, and Olivia Rodrigo without saying which songs. It's a genuinely good list. That's not the problem. The problem is the storefront. So the pre-order page has 4 bundles built like airline fares. You don't buy a seat, you buy a seat inside a tier. Bottom rung, game plus 1 Kramer guitar, $129.99, going to $149.98 after pre-order. Same thing with 2 guitars, $199.99 going to $259.97. The band kit adds drums and a mic, $299.99 going to $369.96. Top of the ladder, the Pro Band Kit, $349.99 now, $469.99 for later. What Pro gets you is a cymbal expansion and a second kick pedal. They upsold the extra leg room in a guitar game. You can buy it all separately. Guitars, $109.99, drums are $199.99, and there's a MIDI adapter so you can plug in a real electronic kit. Nobody covered this today because it required opening a calculator. You cannot currently pre-order Stage Tour by itself. Digital pre-orders are, quote, coming soon. Every pre-order button on that site is bolted to plastic. But the game has a price. It's hidden in the bundle math. Game plus 1 guitar, regular price, $149.98. Guitar alone is $109.99. That's $40, $39.99. Check the 2 guitar bundle, $259.97 minus 2 guitars at $219.98, $39.99. Band kit, $369.96 minus guitar and drums and wired mic, $39.99. Pro Band kit, $469.94 minus guitar, drums, wireless mic, cymbals, and the kick pedal. $39.99. 4 for 4. So the game is only $40 in a year where a first-party console game is $80, and they didn't say so out loud because the number that lands on the press release is $469.94. Enrage travels further. than value does. That's the actual story on the price. It's not greed. It's the last genre on earth that makes you buy furniture. Okay, now the part I actually made this video for. Every number I just read you is for hardware you own. That guitar is yours and nobody can reach into your house and take the plastic. The songs are a different arrangement and there's 10 months of receipts on this. October 5th, 2025, less than a year ago, Rock Band 4 was pulled from digital sale on every platform, not because it flopped, because the soundtrack licenses expired. All the launch day DLC delisted the same day, and everything after that delist 10 years from the date it went on sale. 3,000 songs on a countdown clock set the moment each one was listed. Go back further, December 1st, 2018, Activision shut down Guitar Hero TV. Guitar Hero Live had 484 songs available. After that night, it had 42, the ones on the disc. 442 songs gone, and the reason reported at the time wasn't server cost, the licensing agreements were up. Read those in order like a set list. RedOctane dissolved in 2010, GHTV evaporates in 2018 on a license expiration, Rock Band 4 delisted in 2025 on a license expiration, and in 2026, the survivors of both studios are selling you a $349 drum kit for a game whose FAQ says the set list keeps growing through DLC. Nobody in that chain was a villain, that's what makes it worse. Every one of those was a contract quietly hitting its end date on a calendar somebody signed a decade earlier. 90 songs, everyone licensed from a rights holder for a term, not forever, for a term. And I want to be clear because I'm not saying don't buy this. I haven't seen a bad faith move from RedOctane yet, and I've been looking. They support Rock Band 4 instruments natively. The Riffmaster 2 wrote it into the FAQ unprompted, which is a company voluntarily cutting its own hardware sales. Offline play and writing, $40 game. That is a studio behaving well. It's also a studio that does not own the music, cannot promise you a date, and has no control over what a label decides in 2034. So let me step off the gas for a second. The thing that made these games work was never the guitar. The guitar was a piece of plastic with 5 buttons on it. What it did was give 4 people a reason to be in one room on a Tuesday. 2008 through 2010, if you were the right age, there was a drum kit taking up a third of somebody's living room, an argument about whose turn it was on vocals, and somebody's mother upstairs asking you to stop using the kick pedal. Somebody always got stuck on bass. Somebody always claimed they could do expert and could not do expert. You weren't there for the game was the excuse. Then that ended, not because the genre died, because everybody moved. And that's why I keep turning over looking at this pre-order page. The Kramer is $109.99. I can add it to a cart right now. The other 3 people are not currently in stock. Because there's one more detail on that store page I need explained. At launch, Stage Tour ships in 2 regional versions, an ESRB build for North America, a PEGI build for Europe and Oceania, and the site tells you in bold to select the correct one. So on top of picking a platform, a bundle tier, a guitar finish, and whether you want cymbals, you also have to correctly identify what continent you live on or your Christmas present doesn't work. Get out of here. Look, here's where I actually land. Pre-order the hardware if you want the hardware. Plastic holds its value and the discount is real money. 70 off the band kit, 120 off the Pro. But don't pre-order it for the set list. Pre-order it for the note charts and the 4 modes and for the fact that a roguelite Guitar Hero is a genuinely new idea in a genre that hasn't had one since 2007. Buy the parts they control, and if in 8 years half those songs quietly stop being purchasable, don't act surprised. It's on the schedule, it has been since before the game was announced. Like it if it was useful, subscribe if you want more, and in the comments tell me what plastic peripheral is still in your house right now, not what you owned, what's physically in there taking up space. Balance board, light gun, a dance mat behind a dresser, a guitar with a broken strum bar, you never threw out for reasons you can't articulate. I want the inventory, and I'll see you in the next one. Cyler out.